Hey everyone, how's it going? It's your boy Skilled Fawn, and today we are going to be doing a Demon Souls challenge run. Been a while since the last time, so I'm excited to hop back into the game. Before we get into the challenge, let's talk about the rules. Starting off, I have to use Daggers Only. This is a series I started a while back, and I've been slowly going through the Soulsborne games, with Lords of the Fallen being the most recent. It'll be interesting to see how daggers fare in the game compared to others, and how much of a benefit or hindrance it is to the player. Next, I must defeat all bosses. There are 6 archstones, with one being destroyed, so 5 worlds to explore, with multiple bosses spread throughout. Subsequently, I cannot summon other players or NPCs to help during fights. This way, things will be a bit more challenging and interesting to watch. Afterwards, I must beat the game. Lastly, glitches and or exploits are allowed. Expect some cheeky ways to take down bosses and get around areas. Demon Souls has such rich lore and an awesome world. It'll be awesome to get back into the swing of things. Make sure to smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I post similar challenges. Without further ado, let's get into the run. We start off in the Nexus, which is our safe haven, repair shop, and where we can level up. Once I exit the Nexus, I head straight into the gates of Boletaria. Normally, you'd expect me to use and pick up a variety of weapons and items lying around, but today everything has to serve the cause of the dagger. I'm on the lookout for the supportive gear, rings, and upgrade materials as I go throughout the game. This boosts the damage and critical hits the dagger inflicts. I pass by some of the usual loot and zero in on the items that can boost my dagger's performance. The cling ring is something that the player can get early on, and this lets the player have increased health while in soul form. This is useful initially, but will become obsolete as having more health is better, aka when you're not in soul form. Now, one trick I've done before and I see people do all the time is die in the Nexus, making sure they don't die in a specific world. Ultimately, this helps them to achieve white world tendency much more easily. This mechanic in the game lets the player receive less damage from enemies and bosses of the zone. The thief ring is the next thing I got, and this was perfect for reducing enemies' awareness, allowing the player to seamlessly sneak up on enemies or perform hilarious exploits like in Maneater's case, which we will talk about later on. Before long, I encounter a group of drakes perched around a treasure trove. In a typical run, I may avoid this area altogether, but today we are going to steal from these winged beasts. There are a few useful items near the drakes and below near the cliffside. Once we collect all the items, we set off for our first boss fight. The first major boss encounter is with Phalanx. Usually this enemy isn't too bad when you can use fire bombs, as it shreds the boss's health bar alongside the various enemies surrounding it. But with only the dagger, I had to pivot my strategy completely. I relied on the quick, successive stabs and continuous movement. The key here is to try and dodge all the various enemies and use the dagger's speed to stay one step ahead. I opted to use the fire paper I collected throughout the level here, as this boss is extremely weak to it. After an intense fight, I take a breather back in the Nexus, then I catch up with the Monumental. With renewed vigor, I head to the infamous Prison of Hope. This area is a chaotic maze filled with eerie, Cthulhu-like creatures lurking in every shadow. Your journey is long and treacherous. Each corridor presents new threats that force me to rely on my dagger's swiftness and my own agility. Despite the oppressive atmosphere and constant tension, I can't help but just really enjoy the level design of this, especially just like the music in the background. It's just awesome. As we are going through, I want to quickly talk about the run. I actually attempted this run a while ago. As I was going through the various Souls games figuring out which one I should do next, I found I hadn't done a Demon Souls one next. Weird, since I felt like I had already. In fact, I did, a couple years ago. I actually did the challenge, but never ended up posting it. Well, here we are now, doing another Daggers run. See if we can actually complete it. If you are interested, this challenge, alongside the previous Daggers Only runs, can be found on the VOD channel. Here I post highlights and streams. Anyways, let's get back on track. Soon enough, the path leads to a towering structure that fires deadly arrows, a true test of agility. I charge headfirst into the fray. Inevitably, I succumb to a barrage of arrows. Yep, I did die. Getting back, I want to beat this thing once and for all, this time with a much more cautious approach. Persistence pays off, and on my second attempt, I navigate the arrows with razor-sharp precision. After surviving the tower, I venture into the sprawling cathedral area. At the very top, a mysterious healer awaits, an enemy whose healing touch revives the boss over and over again. Without missing a beat, I engage in dispatch of the healer. This sets the stage for the next major event, the Fool's Idol boss fight. Fool's Idol is one of the coolest encounters yet. The battle is layered with mystery. As I face the boss, a horde of clones appear. Which one's which? Is this the real one, or is it this one? Well, there's actually a secret to identify the real Fool's Idol, and this lies in the magic bolt they cast. Only the genuine boss produces a massive full-fledged bolt. With that tip in hand, I methodically avoid the clones as best as I can, focusing on the main boss. Ultimately, we defeat Fool's Idol and are able to progress further in the zone. With Fool's Idol behind me, I make my way to the Nexus for a quick upgrade session. I bolster my trusty dagger further, feeling the rush of potential with every enhancement added by the blacksmith. Outfitted with better damage, I then set off for the smithing grounds, a gold mine for upgrade materials. Inside these grounds, the environment is harsh but rewarding. Enemies clutching bags full of shards and upgrade materials are all over. Focus on collecting every bit of material that can turn my dagger into an instrument of precise destruction. There's also this really neat shortcut that leads to a blacksmith who upgrades boss weapons and standard ones too. As I progress, tension builds for the upcoming battle against the formidable Armor Spider. Armor Spider is an interesting boss to say the least. Every dodge and counter-strike is a nail-biting affair as I dance around the spider's massive clanging limbs. The fight is intense and requires perfect timing, especially for those spider web things that it just shoots out, making every successful stab feel incredibly rewarding. Eventually, we take down another boss. Once the spider is defeated, I transition to Island's Edge. The landscape shifts into a battlefield strewn with skeletons. I spend several tense minutes cutting through waves of these undead foes. They basically just roly-poly me every single second. In a daring moment, I attempted this glitch/exploit that lets me skip half the level. It does take several tries, as my timing is a bit rusty, but we eventually make it to the next boss. At the very end of the gauntlet stands the Adjudicator Demon, this massive foe with a menacing presence. With my dagger's rapid stabs, I slowly but surely bring down this Judge of Souls. You do this by stabbing this thing in his stomach just over and over, and that just brings him down. Still in Island's Edge, I navigate a labyrinth of winding caves and exposed side paths where these flying stingray-like enemies hurl dangerous projectiles from above. The air is thick with tension, as each dodge attack reminds me that one misstep could be my undoing. Eventually, I emerge at the threshold of the next big fight, facing Old Hero. Old Hero is a test not only of timing, but also of endurance. His slow, methodical attacks and unwavering defense make every single dagger strike count. Hit 3 or 4 times, run away, and repeat. Basically, the Thief Ring just makes this fight super simple. Eventually, my agile movements and precision stabs wear him down. After conquering Old Hero, I retrace my steps back to the gates of Boletaria, the very area where phalanx can be found. This time things are different. There's this Drake with his fiery breath, nimble archers, and his colossal knights. As I approach the final gate, here I face the Tower Knight. The Tower Knight fight is a true test of close quarters combat, but first we gotta take down the various archers along the perimeter. With his immense frame and punishing blows, he demands a careful balance of offense and defense. In the midst of the Tower Knight battle, every near miss and strategic step forward was a crucial part of the dance. Even as the enemy's attacks nearly connected, I kept readjusting my position, each perfectly timed dagger stab turning a desperate move into a small but hard-won victory. The relentless exchange tested every bit of my skill and focus. Thanks to a combination of swift footwork and precise strikes, I ultimately overcame the Tower Knight. Next, I backtracked to the Prison of Hope, familiar yet ever treacherous area. This time I find myself facing a new structural challenge. I must sever the 2 chains holding a massive demon heart in place. In a dramatic sequence, as the chain breaks, the titan of a demon heart crashes down, creating an opening to scale the structure. At the top, I encounter the dreaded man-eater duo. This is where the clever rat ring really comes into play. Its damage boost kicks in when I'm in that high-stakes, low-health zone. With the ring's bonus empowering my dagger, I dispatch the first man-eater in a flash, its health bar depleting almost instantaneously before the second one can even come in. Every split-second decision is crucial, and the extra burst of power from the clever rat ring turns a tough moment into an easy victory. Determined to push further, I continue deeper into Prison of Hope. The path grows steeper as I climb a spiraling tower, where a swarm of human bugs and Cthulhu-like enemies attack me from every corner. Finally, near the top, I confront the old monk. In this brutal battle, I exploit every opening with precise backstabs, each one chipping away at the old monk's defense. As the ancient walls echo with the somber lore of forgotten rituals, I time each move to perfection, slipping behind him when he least expects it. One well-placed backstab after another gradually breaks his guard until he finally crumbles before me. With his defeat, I seize the Archdemon's soul, a vital boon that lets me warp between archstones, sparing me the long trek back to the Nexus. This victory not only clears a path forward, but also deepens the mystery of this cursed tower. Back at the Nexus, I take stock of my progress, I level up, get some healing grasses, and continue to upgrade my trusty dagger, a weapon that now sings with refined power. Take a moment to reflect on how far I've come. The dagger, once an underdog, is now a lethal extension of my will. I return come to the smithing grounds to face one of the tougher challenges yet, Flame Lurker. This boss is a relentless beast, known for his extreme aggression and heavy fire damage. The battle is a delicate dance. I must weave in and out of Flame Lurker's onslaught while unleashing precise dagger strikes. The fight tests my limits, but my keen focus and finally upgraded blade eventually turned the tide. Ultimately, we defeat Flame Lurker, one of the harder bosses in Demon Souls. Immediately following Flame Lurker comes Dragon God, true gimmick boss. This encounter is all about environmental mastery, as I need to destroy objects as quickly as possible. Once I do that, I'm able to activate turrets strategically placed facing the Dragon God's arms. Once these turrets are in play, they pin down the beast, significantly limiting its movement. With the enemy partially immobilized, I relentlessly target his head with my dagger. Each decisive blow brings down the legendary Dragon God, marking another archdemon's defeat and securing another crucial soul. One of the final grim areas I journeyed to is the Depraved Chasm. This realm is crawling with poison-inflicting enemies that make every step a perilous gamble. The front line of this toxic onslaught is Leechmonger. Thankfully, armed with a hefty supply of fire papers gathered over the journey, knowing Leechmonger's extreme weakness to fire, dispatched this boss with relative ease. The methodical application of fire damage combined with the rapid stabs of my dagger transformed this fight into a masterclass in efficiency. Traversing the poison swamp itself is both fun and exasperating. I have to constantly monitor my health bar. Persistence wins in the end, pushing me ever closer to the next chapter of the savage journey. Next up is Dirty Colossus. Despite its unsettling design, I can't help but admire its unique mechanics. The Colossus deploys swarms of insect-like minions that latch onto you, sapping your health and interfering with any healing attempts. I use a combination of precise dagger strikes and swift dodges to avoid the insects. In the end, the sheer cool factor of Dirty Colossus makes the challenge memorable and rewarding. After the Colossus, I move on to facing Maiden Estraya and Garo Vinland. In this dual challenge, I switch tactics slightly, pulling my offhand dagger as a makeshift parry weapon. This change in technique allows me to inflict critical hits on Garo Vinland with surgical precision. Once Garo falls, Maiden Estraya eventually surrenders without putting much of a fight, thereby handing over yet another Archdemon soul to my collection. Heading towards the Shadowmen Archstone, I prepared for one of the last bosses. This is one of the few encounters in the Soulsborne games where using daggers isn't viable. Storm King is different. As you can obviously see, he is flying around and soaring overhead. The aerial nature of this fight means my dagger, primarily designed for close quarters combat, isn't able to be a fully airborne enemy. This encounter is a stark reminder that not every fight in Demon Souls and the Soulsborne games caters perfectly to a daggers only strategy. Nonetheless, I press on, taking note of everything the game throws at me. As I near the end of Boletaria, the atmosphere becomes even more surreal. Final areas are haunted by these creepy clown-like jailers. Their unsettling, grinning visages set the stage for one of the final battles. Penetrator quickly ranks among my top 3 favorite fights. The battle is an intense whirlwind of close quarters combat where every dodge and counter stab must be executed with precision. Weave in and out of his reach, landing a series of rapid dagger strikes that gradually erode his health bar. Each moment is a test of timing and instinct. One misstep and I could be grabbed and absolutely get destroyed. The adrenaline rush of his fight, music, and everything else makes this fight an unforgettable challenge. Following Penetrator, I step into the arena for the showdown with Old King Alon. This fight easily ranks among the toughest in the game, right up there with the Man-Eater duo and Flame Lurker. Alon is fast, aggressive, and punishes every mistake. I had to stay on my toes, timing each roll perfectly and sneaking in dagger hits wherever I could. The room itself carries a weight, like you're really at the end of something massive. After a tense back and forth, I finally land the last blow, ending one of the most intense fights of the run. Now comes the ultimate finale. Deep within the dark recesses of the Old One, the true Demon King of this universe, I finally confront King Alon in his final monstrous form. This is not just a boss battle, it's a culmination of everything the game represents. In this epic encounter, the cost of losing humanity for immortality is not worth it. King Alon's twisted visage and overwhelming aura serves as a testament to the corrupting nature of power. King Alon defeated, I'm offered a choice. Final moment where the fate of Boletaria and the other Archstones hang in the balance. I decide on the good ending, a decision that both feels redemptive and thoroughly satisfying. With this has been Demon Souls with Daggers Only. Let's take a moment to recap on the run. I began in the familiar haven of the Nexus, rearming and setting the rules for a run focused solely on the humblest of blades, a dagger. From the treacherous encounters with drakes to navigating the twisting quarters of Prison of Hope to the events with Old King Alon, every victory was a testament to precise, agile combat. Each major boss, from Phalanx to the Tower Knight and Penetrator, challenged my skill in unique ways, proving that even a seemingly underpowered weapon can be a game changer when used with creativity and grit. Despite a few moments of frustration, like the unavoidable limits of the dagger against an aerial Storm King, the run was a roller coaster of triumphs, close calls, and awesome exploits. Daggers in Demon Souls compared to the other games fared to be mediocre. Nothing crazy good, but nothing terrible either, kind of just average. Status effects are what make daggers good in my opinion, as the fast buildup of status effects makes them great tools for your arsenal, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. Do you agree or disagree? Finally, we dismantle the dark legacy of King Alon. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to hit the like button, comment, and or subscribe if you like this type of content. Check out the other Daggers Only challenges from DS1 to Elden Ring and beyond. Try to do something kind for someone today, whether it's a small or large gesture. This is your boy Skilled Fawn, and I'm out.